What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now we're getting ready to start a brand new series here, and it's gonna be Band of Brothers. Now the reason why I chose this is because obviously I looked up on the IMDb channel, and after watching Chernobyl, I pretty much saw that this one was literally one spot up ahead of it. And knowing how good Chernobyl was, I figured, hey, might as well give this one a shot since it's one spot better. So that being said, do I know anything about Band of Brothers? No, I don't, but I have heard about it being like a historical World War type of TV show based on like some events that happened and stuff. Now I don't know if it's like based on a real life reenactment, nor or if it's just like a made up side story or something. But regardless, this should still be good because I do kind of like historical type of shows and stuff, especially when it's based on real life events. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right on into this. This is gonna be season 1, episode 1, Currahee. Yeah. And let's get right to it. Away we go. You know, another thing is it's produced by HBO, so this should be good as well, just like Chernobyl.
Told us to put our uniforms on. What the hell are you talking about? He says the USA is in a war with Japan.
Well, our country was attacked. It's different. It wasn't like Korea or Vietnam. We was attacked. And, you know, it's a feeling that maybe we just dumb country people, but
I guess it is based off of real life events because they got a couple of veterans from the war, I imagine they are. And this was made in like 2001, so it's pretty old.
And then they said, who would like to volunteer for the airborne? So we said, what the hell is the airborne?
Small town, and 3 fellows in that town that were 4F committed suicide because at different time.
I did things. I didn't do them for medals. I didn't do them for accolades. I did them because it's what had to be done.
The guy said, well, you jump out of airplanes. You know, you got all your
Okay, this is actually kind of cool. They're having the actual people come on and talk about their experience of the war and stuff and all that.
And the guy giving the speech was saying, but you get paid $50 a month more. So that made it $100.
Should have been born earlier, Nix.
What, and give up all this? We'll go to Chicago. I'll take you there.
Yeah.
Ooh, standing out in that hot sun with them heavy uniforms on has to be unforgiving.
Have you been blousing your trousers over your boots like a paratrooper?
No, sir.
That explained the creases at the bottom. For the parachute infantry is one thing, Percante, but you've got a long way to prove that you belong here. Your weekend pass is revoked.
Harsh.
Name?
Malarkey, Donald G.
Malarkey. Malarkey slang for... Rust on the butt plate hinge spring, Private.
Understandable. Not cleaning your weapon.
What do we do? Do not help that man! Do not help that man!
Why not? Seems like that's something that you should do. You know, when you're in a military unit and stuff, I'd imagine it shouldn't be every man for himself, should it? Ooh, running that long and going up a hill. The legs turn to jelly.
We are coming on 23 minutes. That may be good enough for the rest of the 506, but that is not good enough for Easy Company.
Gotta push harder. Oh man, they doing it in their suits.
Lieutenant Sobel does not hate Easy Company, Private Randall. He just hates you.
Poor. Christensen, why is there no water in your canteen? You drank from your canteen, didn't you? Was this man ordered to not drink from his canteen during the Friday night march?
He was, sir.
Private Christensen, you have disobeyed a correct order. You will fill your canteen and repeat all 12 miles of the march immediately.
Yes, sir.
Follow. Stand in the door. Go! You just broke both your legs.
Oh, they putting them through it. Oh, that was a nice transition. They were in there. I forgot what they called them, but they transitioned. Yeah, and then they transitioned again to what's that? And they transitioned to them in their uniforms, and now they're in their main uniforms.
Easy Company has the finest performance record in the entire 2nd Battalion.
Band of
I believe
brothers.
every bit of that is thanks to you. Isn't that Lieutenant Winters leading Easy Company in PT?
Yes,
PT, that's what they called it. Okay.
I was planning on giving him a set of these today. Why don't you do it? He'll be proud to get them from you.
This is United States Army property. Authorization from my mess facility, and I will not tolerate thievery in my unit. Whose foot? Get rid of him. All weekend passes are canceled, officers included. Carry on. Colonel Sink has seen fit to promote you. As first lieutenant, you'll serve as my executive officer. Thank you, sir. And as a test of your organizational skills, I am designating you mess officer for 14 days. At 05:15 hours, company breakfast to be served at 0600.
Gotta love the military times.
Orders changed, get up! Lectures are canceled. Easy Company is running up Currahee. Move!
All right, get out. Gotta go. Whatever you didn't eat, get out of there.
Gordon, son! Aren't you, Gordon? You finished? You do not deserve to get your wing. Private Randall, ambulance waiting for you at the bottom of the hill. It can all be over right now. No more pain. No more Currahee. No more Captain Sobel. Upon the rises, on the rest.
To be honest with you, they look like they can maintain a good pace. It's not like they gotta be like full-on sprinting or nothing.
I hope so. This will be the first of 5 exits from a C-47 aircraft scheduled for today. Get ready!
Man.
Jumping from 1,000 feet AGL in sticks of 12 jumpers per aircraft. All you have to do is remember what you were taught, and I guarantee you gravity will take care of the rest.
Soft little landing. That thing's still pulling them. Oh.
Well, at ease, paratroopers. Good evening, Easy Company. Evening, sir. Now, parachute infantry is a brand new concept. But by God, the 506 is going to forge that brand new concept into victory. Yeah. I want you to know that I'm damn proud of each and every one of you. Now, you deserve this party. Thank you, Sergeant Grant. Sir. I want you to have fun and remember our motto. Currahee!
Currahee! Shoot.
Captain, you've just been killed, along with 95% of your
Okay, it was a training, okay.
Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, 506.
Okay. I didn't know if that was real or not. It did say camp, so I guess I should have anticipated it, but it still caught me off guard. Man, that's one way to fail. Always got to look out for that camo.
You gotta admit, he's got no chance. Either the crowds will get him, or one of us.
Dear Sir or Madam, soon your son will drop from the sky to engage and defeat the enemy. Your frequent letters of love and encouragement will arm him with a fighting heart. With that, he cannot fail, but will win glory for himself. Make you proud of him. And his country ever grateful for his service in its hour of need. Signed, Herbert M. Sobel, Captain, Commanding.
What are those for? Are they like if they fell out the boat or something? Statue of Liberty. Oh, that's one way to start a confrontation. Oh, no, that block was nasty.
What's all that about?
Currahee called Sobel a Jew. We've got took offense because he's a Jew too.
I do kind of like that they're transitioning with different time periods of the same year and all that. Like, it doesn't necessarily go too far, but it shows us everything that they go through in like each month and stuff and certain dates and all that.
Maneuver right in through these trees. At the same time, our 2nd platoon in this particular case moves over here. He's then going to close with and kill or capture that German.
Oh, they're letting it fly.
Why is there a fence here?
Tipper!
Give me the map. Picani, get him. Take cover behind those trees.
You know, as I look at this a little more, I kind of see that the guy himself, the main commander guy, it seems like even he also has a lot of moments where he messes up certain things and stuff, like he's seeing things the way they are, but then he also sees stuff in certain places where he thinks it should be, and he gets confused by it. Not saying that it makes him incompetent, but you know, it definitely puts more emphasis on him definitely not knowing everything and stuff.
Is there a problem, Captain Sobel? Who said that? Who broke silence? I think it's Major Horton, sir.
Major Horton? What is he? Did he join us?
Maybe he's moving between the platoons, sir?
Man, they about to run some laps.
Hold up, Mr. Sobel. Sir, God. A barbed wire fence. Oh, that dog just...
Now you cut that fence and get this goddamn platoon on the move!
Yes, sir.
Dude, you actually believe that? Nah. Nah, this guy's definitely more of a sucker than he lets on. Oh. Imagine going on a nice bike ride and then you see soldiers just coming from out of nowhere. Yep, just turn right on back around and see more of them.
Who was the idiot who cut that man's fence?
I was ordered to, sir.
By whom?
Yes, sir.
Major Horton told you to do that.
Yes, sir.
Major Horton ordered you to cut the fence. Major Horton is on leave in London.
Well, that's one way to look like an idiot.
Lieutenant Winters. Sir. Lieutenant.
You spend your weekends on the base anyway, Dick. Be a man, take the punishment.
Just telling them how it is.
My endorsement, sir. I request trial by court-martial.
Oh. Surprise, surprise.
We could be lined up against a wall and shot. And every one of us had better be too.
I will not follow that man into combat.
Seems like we got a lot of disagreement amongst them and stuff. Obviously, they don't like specific things that they're being told to do, and at the same time, specific people and all that. And it's pretty much just creating a good rift between all of them.
Ought to have you all shot. There's nothing less than an active mutiny while we prepare for the goddamn invasion of Europe.
Sir.
Turn in your stripes, collect your gear. You are hereby transferred out of my regiment.
Sir.
Sergeant Ranny,
Sir.
you consider yourself lucky I'm only... You NCOs have disgraced the 101st Airborne. You can consider yourself lucky that we are on the eve of the largest action in the history of warfare. No choice but to spare your lives. Get.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, the military back in those times seemed like they were really cruel.
Frankly, I can't think of anyone more qualified to command such a school than you are.
Sir?
I'm reassigning you to Chilton Foley.
I'm losing Easy Company?
War effort needs you elsewhere.
Well.
Permission to speak, sir.
Granted.
Who will be replacing me?
Lieutenant Meehan from Baker Company is senior.
That realization setting in that, wow, I really just been replaced. And whether or not if he's been, I think that's kind of like a demotion in some way, you know, instead of a promotion. So now he's having to do something lower than what he really wants to.
These men have been through the toughest training the Army has to offer, under the worst possible circumstances.
Nick, I was just shooting crap through them. It's not like
You know why they volunteered? So when things got really bad, the man in the foxhole next, not some draftee who's gonna get him killed.
Are you ticked because they like me? Know my soldiers? I mean, come on. You've been with these guys for what, 2 years? I've been here for 6 days.
Ramsbury. Pottery. So, it's Normandy.
That's where D-Day is, ain't it? Normandy. The beach that they had a storm at the time.
3-day supply, K-rashes, chocolate bars, charms, candy, powder, coffee, sugar, bayonet, entrenching tool, ammunition, gas mask, reset bag.
Locked and loaded.
Grabbing my 45 canteen, 2 cartons of smokes, Hawkins mine, 2 grenades, TNT, this bullshit, and a pair of nasty skivvies. What's your point?
All right, listen up, listen up! If you did not sign your GI life insurance policy, you go on over and see Sergeant Evans at the headquarters company tent.
Man.
You boys don't let your families miss out on $10,000. Hear that, Jerry? Yeah, boy.
You basically got to sign a life insurance policy to guarantee your families get that money, because, you know, knowing how the world wars worked back then, yeah, a lot of people did not make it back, so it's understandable why they did it, but man, it's just a hard thing to digest.
Colonel Sink. Colonel Sink.
Soldiers of the regiment, tonight is the night.
Trying to make jokes while reading paper.
Read this. You're en route to the great adventure for which you have trained for over 2 years.
Easy, company! Listen up! Channel coast is locked in with rain and fog. No jump tonight. We're on a 24-hour stand down.
Get all anxious and worked up just to have to wait another 24 hours.
Bill Garnier's brother.
Johnny.
Got something you might be looking for. Took your jacket by mistake. Sorry. Where the fuck is Monte Casino?
I don't know. Italy somewhere.
Sorry about your brother, Bill.
Sorry for my mom. Let's get this over with.
That's got to be tough. You know, when you think about it, that's got to be tough for the families too, because, you know, they don't know if they're going to see their sons anymore, their, you know, husbands or whatever they are to you and stuff. Like, man, that would be tough. All right, they packing up and they loading up. They ready to go. I believe that the United States didn't necessarily join the war until like towards the late ends of it. That's a nice little shot right there with all the planes in the air as they go off into the distance and stuff, along with the sun setting on it and all that. Like, a day ends and a new day begins. That's kind of the way I interpretate it. Oh, that's a nice shot right there. All the planes flying in unison and stuff together and everything. That's a really cool shot right there at the end. Is that the end? Telling you, Liberating Force, you are about to embark upon a great crusade towards which we have striven for many months. The eyes of the world are on you. Okay. I had to read that fast. Good luck. And let us all the blessings of the Almighty God upon the great and noble undertaking. Gene Dwight D. Okay. Yeah. I've heard of that name before. Eisenhower. All right, that's the end of the episode. And I got to say, that was, it was more so of a slow burner, but at the same time, it built up towards something amazing at the end, like with the planes taking off and going off to war, basically. Because if I'm not mistaken, I can remember that the United States didn't necessarily join into the war until it was more so in its late stages, because the Second World War at least, started around like 1939, I believe. And, the United States didn't join it literally until like its late stages and stuff. Now, obviously, they were training and preparing for it, but that's basically as much information as I know. But as we see here, basically, the Easy Company, or I think they're called Easy Company, they're basically the air assault team in simpler terms and stuff. That puts them as the above attack group and stuff, in some ways that you can see it. And we also see, it's not necessarily an easy life, especially during this time, because they're going to war with an abundance of different countries and stuff like that. And it makes it more harder because the families of those soldiers, they know 90, like it's a 90% chance that someone that they know and love is gonna get offed in this war, basically. And you hate to admit that would happen, but it's the facts. It happened. So basically, we got more of an in-depth look of the soldiers' own perspective on their lives, basically. I done hit my camera. On their lives, basically, on their bases and stuff, going through all the training, all that hard work and stuff. And it's really something to behold in some ways, because all that training and hard work they go through, and yet at the same time, all it takes is one good shot, and they're down for the count. So, in which I will admit, though, that training can pay off, because it makes you faster, makes you stronger, it makes you better than what you are, because it helps you be able to push through and stuff. And that's kind of what I got from this first episode. You got to push through the adversity, even if you didn't want it to be there in the first place. But sometimes you can't really control what things are put in front of you. You just have to push straight on through it. And that's kind of what I got the most from this episode, as well as also another very important thing that I liked was the commanding officer. I forgot his name, but the commanding officer guy of the Easy Company, it's pretty obvious that he had his ways of how he wanted things done, obviously. But that can go for almost any body, even coaches in sports and stuff. You got to do things certain ways that they want it done, because they know that this is the way to succeed. And as I saw, basically, when in the end, up until the end, he basically stuck by his own morals and stuff, even if he himself also would get lost in it himself. But like I said, yeah, this was a really great episode. I like the introduction. You know, it was a slow burner, but it was a great slow burner because it built up to the amazingness at the end of seeing those soldiers go off to fight in the war and stuff. But like I said, that was a great first episode. So I'm gonna be back on here for the next one. So make sure that you like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.